Yeah, Mafia Magazine Radio.
Yeah, this Royce, man. What's happening with you?
What's good, Royce? Hold on, baby. Let me set you up real quick, all right?
All right.
For all my listeners out there, man, I got the opportunity to sit down, man, with an incredibly gifted artist that goes by the name of Royce Carr. And we're going to sit down with Royce for a little while, baby. He's going to let us know what it takes for him to put his music down. So, Royce, man, what's good, baby? How the industry treating you these days, son?
Oh, man, everything is gravy these days, brother. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, no doubt, baby. So let's get to it, man. Tell everybody where you originally from and how long you actually been doing your thing.
Man, originally I'm from Illinois, a little town in Waukegan. And, I grew up, in a musical family and I just been loving music since I was, a little boy. And I moved here to the A, Atlanta, back in 97. And I just been doing music, ever since then, producing, local artists and hooking up with other, producers and, just learning the trade and working on my craft, man. That's all.
No doubt, baby. Hey, and I just want to say, man, coming from Waukegan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, boy? You had to find something to do, baby, coming out of the Waukegan. You know what I'm saying?
That's a little small joint there. It ain't a whole lot to do there.
I know that's right.
You could definitely get into some trouble there, but
yeah,
unfortunately, I had people around me to keep my head straight, and I had something, positive to do.
No question, so, baby. I just had to get that in there, boy. You know what I'm saying about that old Waukegan, baby. I'm like, so tell everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? What was your inspiration, man, or who was your inspiration, man, that actually got you into doing the music in the way that you do it, man?
Man, well, I grew up listening to the older stuff, the Minneapolis Sound, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Prince, Alexander O'Neal, all them cats. And from there, I just had a passion for music and being around it in my family. My brother's a drummer.
Okay.
He produces also, and, he had a band. And, just being around that, as a young teen, it was just fascinating to me. So, I just hooked up with the cats in the band and was getting pointers and that's pretty much how I learned how to play all the instruments that I know how to play.
Right.
That's lovely.
And I'm glad you actually spoke on that, man. And I got a question for you. Being that you spoke on about the instruments that you play and basically the way that you began it all. I'm curious to know, do you think that laid a greater foundation for you because of the background that you came from?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Just having a love for music, and the instrumentation, from back in the day and where it is now. At first starting off, I didn't know how to play. So it's something that I had to learn and had to, have a passion for. And, when you get to a certain point where you feel you can't do anymore, and that's when I went to school and learned, chord progression and all that stuff and on the different instruments, piano. So, that way I learned how to write songs and construct the music for it. But, nowadays a lot of people aren't really doing music. They get a riff from a program, use that and play. It's not a lot of instrumentation going on, but when you go live, you can do a whole lot more if you know how to play an instrument.
Right. And that's actually, well, a lot of people don't really know or understand this, but that's how you can actually, when you sit down and you listen to someone's music, like when you listen to a person like yourself, when you listen to your music, you can hear your foundation. You can hear all of the different things that you learned early, you know what I'm saying, to be able to be able to apply that to what you're doing now, man. And like you said, a lot of cats ain't really even, it ain't even music. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bunch of hooks and and just say anything and just hope everybody hit it enough times to where it gets, you know what I mean? The way now
it got a good beat to it.
Right, it got a good beat to it, man. No
what
doubt.
I do, I still have that 80s sound. I took that 80s sound and brought it up to date. And, because I love the music back then and I love the music now.
Right.
Right. So the beats anyway.
And
so, I combine the two, but I gotta stay true to my roots. You know what
Right,
I
no
mean?
question about that. And you hit upon something, man, that I actually wanted you to speak a little bit more about. You know what I'm saying, about the education of the music. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's another thing that's missing, where cats don't actually go out and learn what they're doing and how it's supposed to be done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Right.
I just want you to speak on that a little bit more, man. You know what I'm saying? Because your music is a little different, because you reach back and you grab some things from out of the past, and then you kind of
Right.
couple that up with some of the things for the future. You know what I'm saying? So just
Oh, yeah.
explain it. Just hit on that a little bit
So,
more, man. Go ahead.
I mean, that kind of goes in the thing where you got to know where you come from to know where you're going. You
Absolutely.
got to know your history, of yourself
Mm-hmm.
in order to move forward. Because if you get out there just haphazardly doing stuff, you're gonna be lost.
Right.
So yeah, I reached back to my roots and pulled all that out the box and just did what I did now.
Right.
I mean, you have to know what you're doing. You gotta not necessarily go to school, but you gotta have some lessons
Right.
from somewhere or somebody.
Right.
Especially if you want to play an instrument. It's good to play an instrument anyway.
Right.
Especially if you're singing, because you gotta know what key you in.
No question. So Royce, tell us, man, what was I'm curious to know, what was one of your first projects that you did, or one of the first songs that you may have did, that you said to yourself, I can do this, and not only can I do this, but I can do this really well.
Right. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna say back in high school, I produced my first song. When you're producing and you get the hang of it, you know what you're doing, and you make a song that you just made, it's like, that's your first baby, and you think it's all that, but years later down the line, you be like, oh, that was crap, because you have grown so much.
Right.
But I'm gonna say high school was when I first, did my first song. That it inspired me to keep going, because it sounded good at that time. And poetry is where I started at.
Okay.
Writing poetry. And I still have it from back in the day.
Okay.
All the poetry that I wrote.
Right.
So sometimes I go and reach back into that and get a couple of lines and see where I was at that time and bring it up to date. But you gotta do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no question about that. And listening to your music, you can tell, you know what I'm saying, that you actually put emphasis on some of that funk groove, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
And a lot of people don't really understand that funk, baby. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
so for you, I want you to tell people, man, on sometime when you sit down in your studio and you go to doing your thing, man, you know what I'm saying, how strongly you feel about when you putting down that funk groove into the music that you're doing now.
Well, that goes back to Roger Troutman and the Gap Band,
Mm-hmm.
the Mothership. What's my man name? I can't think of his name now. You know what I'm talking about. George Clinton.
George Clinton, baby.
That funky stuff from back in the day is you just sitting in a chair and it come on and your head just start bobbing for no reason. Well, not for no reason, but you can't control it.
Right.
It's one of them things where you can't control it, and that's that soulful music that just gets your spirit up and jumping. It's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt.
It just happens. It just comes out of you, and you just hear something and you just go with it.
Yeah, no question. So I heard your music before a lot of people heard your music, man, and I don't know what happened. I don't know how it got to my desk or whatever. But one of your tracks, South American Eyes,
yes.
and I picked up on that, and I thought it was different. And whether you know it or not, we actually been banging that on Mafia Live before we even knew who you was.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? But
that just right there.
Right, that just goes to show you how great that music was and how good it was and how it actually caught my ear. And so my question to you is where did that come from? Like what made you go there with the South American Eyes, and what was the whole inspiration on actually creating that song?
Right. What actually inspired that song is I was on vacation. I'll tell you a little story about it. I was on vacation and I saw this pretty little girl at a shop and I was trying to holler at her,
Right.
but she couldn't understand what I was saying. So that's how it came about.
Right.
And I was on the boat, so while I'm on the boat, I'm writing about this.
Right.
And this was years ago, and I recorded the song, but then I redid it, and then actually that song is in a movie.
Okay.
A couple of years ago. It's called Atlanta Heat 2. And my man Magneto 7, I don't know if you know him. He
Absolutely. Yeah,
he
we
did a
know
lot of stuff with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He does a lot of stuff with Eminem and Ice Cube. He did a remix on it, and that was in the movie, and it's hot. That song, both versions.
Right.
The original version and remix version is hot. So yeah.
Yeah, no doubt, baby. And I just
that's how that came about.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, man, that we was already tuned in to Royce Carr. You know what I'm saying? and then we reached out a couple of times, but it didn't happen. But it's happening now. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's most important. You dig what I'm saying? So tell us, man. Let's get to it, baby. What's the project that you're working on now? You know what I'm saying? Let us know, man, who's involved, what some of the things that it took to put it together. And just let us know, man, what it's all about, baby.
This album, it's been a little time in the working. I was with a label, and things wasn't panning out, like they should have, and like I wanted to, so I had to, do it independently.
Right.
But the album is hot, man. The whole thing, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. There's only one song on there that I really don't care for.
Right.
The song that should be like on the B side. I think it's only one song on there that's like that. And I, constructed the album to, for it all to correlate the same, about the same thing, love, life, and pain. Everything in the album is about love, life, and or pain. And I put my all in that, man. And it's hot.
Definitely. And
you can hear it.
And you spoke on something that I want you to kind of, because there's a lot of cats out there that's listening to us today. And I want you to speak on something, man, a little bit, because I'm quite sure that I almost know for sure that you kind of went through it with the business aspect of your career. About sometime having management don't see the vision the way you see it. You know what I'm saying? And I just want you to kind of talk a little bit about that, about having the business aspect of what you're doing and your vision to coincide together for you to create the music that you want to create. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, see, doing what I do, I got my hands in everything. I know it all.
Right.
I went to school for law, the law and the business side of the music, and you have to pretty much know that, or either have somebody on your team that you're real close with that can have your back in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Because business side of it is a totally different monster than actually making the music.
Right.
And the business side can, shut the whole thing down, even though the music's just sitting there just waiting.
Right.
But you gotta know the business of it. And, you gotta have all your ducks in a row.
Right.
You gotta be ready.
Right. And a lot of cats don't know that. A lot of cats, sometimes, they go with whatever's hot. And they don't understand that 2 weeks from 2 weeks, right now you hot. And then 2 weeks later, nobody never even heard you. You know what I'm saying?
So, because of the business of it.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's just something that I felt like we needed to explain to some of the folks out there, especially a lot of these youngsters today that's out here thinking that they're doing music. But it's
different kind of contracts, man. If people putting money up and, for you and, you under contract, you can, that's how a lot of the big stars now are broke because, the contracts that they had.
Right.
You got to know what you're signing because, you can get $1 million bonus and say, here, take this. Right. But what you don't know is you got to pay that back in sales or something. It's like making a deal with the devil almost.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No question. So for those that don't know, man, let everybody know, man, where did the Royce Carr moniker come from, man? And I need you to explain that. You know what I'm saying? On where your name comes from, man.
Well, that's just my name. That's what I was born with.
Okay.
A lot of people go with a pseudonym or something, but I'm me. I'm who I'm gonna be.
Right.
Royce stands for Son of King. I'm glad I was given a good name that I can live up to. It means Son of King.
Right.
So, that's the name that I'm living up to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no question.
And it's gonna be a household name.
Right, no doubt, baby. So
right.
where do we see this going, Royce? I mean, like, what's your aspirations? How far are we trying to do this? What, what I'm saying? What's your plans? Where we trying to take it?
And,
You know what I'm saying?
well, this is my second album.
Okay.
The first one I released in 2002, and I spent some time working on a lot of other people's album, and honing on my craft. And this album here, the first one, went international, but for some reason I didn't follow through with it. But
Right.
this one here is going international also.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to get on my jets and go out to these different countries. You know what I'm saying? I
Ain't
get my
nothing
pass.
wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with
But
that.
man, I'm going all the way with this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever comes my way, you know,
So are we?
season out.
So are you doing shows? Are you doing concerts? I mean, you're opening up for folks. Give us the inside, man, on when we can go and check out some Royce Carr music, baby. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, yeah. Well, first of all that stuff is coming. It's coming down the pike.
Okay.
I was just talking to a buddy that was just at my house, one of my band members. We got to get back practicing again, and shows are definitely coming up real soon. I could do solo shows, do a couple songs with just the music playing or whatever, but I want to get to the live show. That's where the magic is
Right.
gonna happen.
No question. And I just want you. What's the state of the music that you think it's in today? I mean, give me your ideas on where you think, especially the kind of music that you putting in. You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
we ain't hearing a lot of music today that we can listen to 10 years down the road. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so go ahead.
Music today is, it's just the era that we're in. We got, the kids doing, whatever it is they're doing, and, they're feeling it.
Right.
But it's a crowd out there also that's yearning for what I got.
Right.
That old school vibe, but it's really not old school.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the upbeat or to date stuff that's going on now, but it's a different twist to it.
Right.
So, but they ain't ready.
So let's talk a little bit about, man, you got some things going over there in your camp. You know what I'm saying? I know you're doing some things with some other artists and all that. Give us a little tad bit, a little insight on some of the artists you got and the things that you're doing, man, and tell us, how it's all working out over there, man.
Okay, yeah. I got, my poetess. She's a very good team leader, I'm going to say.
Okay.
Her name is Rhonda Renee. And I think I spoke to you about her before a while ago.
Right.
She does spoken word, and her album should be out, within a month or so.
Okay.
So we got, a couple more tracks we need to finish up. You can catch her, at RhondaRenee.com and read up about her.
Okay.
She has some real good stuff. You're going to love it. I mean, as far as the spoken word is going, man, I'm trying to tell you, it's like, it's different.
Right.
It has music. It has some really good music to it that, is up there with, I forget the name of that group. But, yeah, it escapes me right now. I can't even think of it.
Yeah.
It's some hot stuff, man.
Yeah, make sure you send that through. You know what I'm saying? Because we definitely, absolutely will support. You know what I'm saying? What you're doing over there, because you're putting out some good music. For all my listeners out there, make sure y'all keep it locked here, right here on Mafia Magazine Radio. After this interview with me and Royce, we're gonna bang some of this music that he putting down. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can hear how he really getting down over there. So Royce, man, I got a question, man. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, and they talk about your Royce Carr's music in the future, what will be said about the things that you did in our industry, my friend?
Man, they gonna say the brother kept it real. That's what they say. It's like unfiltered. It's nobody telling me you can't do this, you can't do that. Write about this, write about that. I'm keeping it real with my people and letting them know what's going on out there.
No doubt, baby. Yeah. Hey, man, I just want to say, man, it was beautiful that you had an opportunity to come out, man, and sit with us. You know what I'm saying? But before you go, I want to give you another opportunity to shout out and plug everything and everybody that's helped you get to the place to where you are today.
Oh man, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the first single, Another Level of Life. My son Aaron Carr You know, he played a big part in that. You know, it's basically his song.
Okay.
You know, he came up with the idea, and you know, I kind of revamped it, and you know, say we gotta do something with this because this joint right here is hot. So,
right.
You know, he send a shout out to him, a shout out to Rhonda Renee, and you know, shout out to Reggie Ford. He's a guy that's helping me out. There's a lot of you know radio personalities that's out there that's pumping this album, man, because it's. I mean, they even bought it. You know, I offered to send it to them, but no, man, I heard it, man. I'm finna buy it. So you know, that tells you how hot it is. Normally, they just say, you know, send me this, send me that.
Right. It can't get no realer than that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yo,
that's love right there, bro.
No question, baby. All right, so let me just say this to you, man, before we go, man. I just want to say, man, may you be blessed in all the things that you do, and may you prosper in everything that you do. You heard?
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother.
No doubt, bro. Peace, baby.
All right, man. Keep it going.